There's going to be a ton of changes to the Hunter in the Burning Crusade, and those I'll be covering in this video. You'll now automatically swap between your attacks. So whenever you're far away from a target, you'll be using your ranged weapon. Whenever you're within 5 yards of the target, you will automatically swap to your melee attacks. So the moment you're further than 5 yards away, you will also start shooting. And this wasn't a thing in Classic, so whenever you were far enough away, you also had to manually reactivate your range attack. You will also be able to use range attacks closer compared to Classic. Back then, you had to be a minimum of 8 yards away. In Burning Crusade, it's now 5. One change I'm especially looking forward to is going to be traps. In Classic, we had to be out of combat or use feign death to activate a trap if you were in combat. In Burning Crusade, it's going to be a lot easier as you can now use these mid-fights. This also makes the Hunter a lot better in dungeons and raids, as it's going to be easier for us to CC. At our trainer, there's also going to be a lot of new spells to learn. For example, Steady Shot at level 62, no cooldown, 1.5 seconds cast, and it's dealing a lot of damage. This is great whenever you have cooldowns on other important spells, and it doesn't require a lot of mana, so you can simply just spam this over and over to deal a lot of damage. You will be able to use Steady Shot a lot quicker if you're getting more haste or different buffs while you're doing dungeons and raids, and this is why this ability is so insane. We're also getting a brand new aspect of the Viper, which you can activate to regen mana. The lower your mana is, the more you'll also regen. However, the more intellect you have on your gear, the more mana you will also regen whenever you activate this aspect. Therefore, intellect is going to be pretty important. Definitely not the best stat, but also something you shouldn't be missing. By the time you reach level 66, you unlock Kill Command. Kill Command is an ability for your pet, and it requires you to score a critical hit before you'll be able to activate it. It's not doing too much damage, but when you get to 70, it's actually performing a lot better, especially if you're playing as a BM Hunter. We're also unlocking a new trap by the time you reach level 68. This is called Snake Trap, and it summons a lot of snakes. They're not doing too much damage, but they're applying different debuffs and also being annoying to a caster as it will push back their cast. The snakes apply 3 different debuffs: Deadly Poison, which does damage over time, Mind-Numbing Poison, which slows the casting speed by 50%, and Crippling Poison to reduce the target's movement speed by 50%. Those debuffs are pretty annoying, but the thing about the snakes is that it doesn't have a lot of health, so when you're fighting someone with an AoE ability, they will also die within a matter of seconds. At max level, we probably unlock one of the better spells, Misdirection. Your next 3 attacks will be redirected to another target, or well, the threat caused by those attacks will be redirected to, for example, your pet. This is great for when you're solo leveling, as you will be able to do a lot of attacks before you will also pull aggro. Or if you're in a dungeon, you can misdirect your tank, so you will be able to do a lot of damage and also increase the threat by the tank. Agility as a Hunter has been changed. In Classic, it were increasing your attack power by 2 for every 1 agility. In Burning Crusade, 1 agility equals 1 attack power. But agility is now also improving your critical strike chance a lot more compared to Classic. One of our range attacks has also been completely changed, Scorpion Sting. It will now reduce the target's chance to hit with melee and range attacks by 5%, where in Classic it reduced the target's agility and strength. This expansion also introduced a lot of talent changes and new ones as well. Improved aspect of the Hawk will no longer increase your range attack speed by 30%, now it's 15%, but the chance for this to proc has been improved from 5% and up to 10%. In fact, there's been many changes to the BM talent tree, and even a new talent as well, called Focus Fire. Your damage will be increased by 2% whenever your pet is active, and at the same time, the crit chance of your kill command will be increased by 20%. Improved aspect of the monkey used to increase our dodge chance by 5%, and we even had to spend 5 talent points to get that bonus. Now it's only 3 and even 6%. Pathfinding has also been buffed, it's now 8% increased movement speed instead of 6%. Improved Men Pet has been buffed, as it's also reducing the mana cost by 20%. But ferocity has been nerfed. It used to be 15%, now it's only 10% critical strike chance. What has been buffed by a high amount is this talent. It used to only be 20% and now it's 100%. Animal Handler is a brand new talent. It increases your mount speed by 8% and also your pet's chance to hit by 4. All the remaining talents I'll show you is going to be brand new. Ferocious Inspiration, when your pet crit, it also increases all party members' damage by 3% for 10 seconds. Cat-like Reflexes is great for when you're solo leveling, but when you head into dungeons and raids, it's not really that useful, as you and your pet probably won't be pulling aggro, else you have your Feign Death. Below this, we find Serpent Swiftness, a must-have as it increases your range combat attack speed by 20% and also your pet's melee attack speed by 20%. At the bottom, you unlock the Beast Within. Whenever you activate your Bestial Wrath, it also improves the Hunter's performance, so your damage is increased by 10%, the mana cost of all spells by 20%, and it lasts for 18 seconds. The amazing thing is that when this buff is activated, you will also not be able to be feared or really CC'd in the game. So if a rogue is for example planning to stun you, it's amazing to activate it, as you will be immune to Kidney Shot, Cheap Shot, Blind, and if you're fighting something like a mage, you also won't be polymorphed. Moving on to survival, which has seen many tier swaps. For example, Deflection used to be in tier 1, so at the top of the talent tree, this has swapped location with this one instead, which used to be in tier 2. But another thing just to our left is Hawkeye. This used to be in tier 3, so those talents are still in the game, they have just swapped location, so you're able to pick them early on. Entrapment has seen a small nerf. It used to be 5 seconds. In Burning Crusade, it's now going to be 4 seconds instead. This specialization also receives many new talents, such as the one right here. It reduces the mana cost of all your traps and melee abilities, and even reducing the cooldowns of your traps by 6 seconds if you spend 3 points into this. Whenever you crit with one of your range abilities, then you will also regain 40% of the mana cost if you have spent 3 points into Thrill of the Hunt. Expose Weakness. When you crit, you also get a buff, and this buff will increase the attack power of all attacks against the target by 25% of your agility, and it lasts for 7 seconds. Master Tactician. Your successful range attacks will have a 6% chance to increase your critical strike chance by 10% for 8 seconds. At the bottom, we find the best talent in the specialization, Readiness, which finishes the cooldowns of all your abilities. So if you just used an important cooldown, you can use Readiness to use it once more, just like our Vivian Sting, but you can only put one target to sleep at a time. This is not really going to be a problem, because you can always just use one trap, Readiness, and trap another target. This way you are able to CC 2 targets at the exact same time, and then you could use a Vivian Sting on a third. It also makes us able to use Rapid Fire 2 times in a row, or if our Feign Death resists, then you can reactivate and probably try one more time. Moving on to Marksmanship. The talent you see right here used to be in tier 2, instead it has swapped location with this, which used to be in tier 1. In tier 3 you can choose a new one, Rapid Killing, which primarily reduces the cooldown of your rapid fire by 2 minutes. We can still choose Aim Shot or Improved Arcane Shot, but another new talent is Go for the Throat. When you crit, you also causes your pet to generate 50 focus. Improved Stings now also increases the damage done by Vivian Sting, which is a talent you can choose in the survival tree. Concussive Barrage is yet another new talent. Whenever you use an auto attack, there's a 6% chance you will daze the target for 4 seconds. And if we scroll down, there's a lot of other new talents to be looking at as well. Combat Expertise, which increases our agility and intellect. Careful Aim increases our range attack power equal to 45% of our total intellect. Improved Barrage makes multi-shotting so much better, as our critical strike chance will be increased by 12%, and there's also a 100% chance you will avoid interruption caused by damage while you channel volley. By spending 5 points into Master Marksman, you will increase your range attack power by 10%, so this is a must-have. Also because you're required to spend 5 points into this to unlock Silencing Shot at the bottom, an attack that causes the target to be silenced for 3 seconds. Absolutely insane in PvP, as we also got Scatter Shot, which you can combine together with a trap. The Burning Crusade brings so many changes into the game, which I also cover on my channel, together with many other useful videos you don't really want to miss. For example, leveling, preparation guides, gold making, yeah, there's a huge list. And soon I'll also publish a lot more, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Peace.